Hi, this is Mr. Blakely again, here for another 42 algebra tutorial. In this tutorial, we're going to learn how to factor trinomials using the X-factor method, which I've borrowed from my tutor zone on YouTube. But before we look at the factoring, I want to first multiply two binomials using the FOIL method, because it will show us how to do this in reverse. So in the FOIL method, first x times x is x squared. Then we do the outside, x times 5 is 5x. Inside, 4 times x is 4x. And then the last, 4 times 5 is 20. And we know when we end up combining like terms, these middle terms will get combined into 9x, and so we will end up with a trinomial x squared plus 9x plus 20. And what we're wanting to do is to start with this trinomial and factor it back into its two binomials. But I want you to see this number and this one. What's the relationship of 5 and 4 to this number and to this one? Well, as you can see, we add 5 and 4 to get 9. We multiply them to get 20. So when we factor trinomials, what we're looking for are two numbers that will multiply to give me this 20, but will add together or combine in some fashion to give me the 9. So with that, let's use the X-factor method to factor a trinomial. To start out with, I'm going to use the one that we just worked with so that we see the pattern. So x squared plus 9x plus 20. And there are lots of ways of factoring trinomials. The two things that we need to know is that we need two factors that will combine to make the middle term and multiply to make this term. What I want you to do is to draw an X underneath the problem. And I want you to put a plus here and a multiply sign here. Then what we're going to do is we're going to bring the positive 9 down, and then we're going to bring the positive 20 all the way around here. And we are looking for two numbers, one here, one here. These two numbers need to add to make a positive 9, and they need to multiply to make a positive 20. My first step is to list all of the factors of 20. 1 and 20, 2 and 10, 4 and 5. Those are all the possibilities of two numbers that would multiply to get 20. Now I simply need to look at these factor pairs and say which pair, if I added them together, would give me positive 9. Well, obviously the 4 and the 5 would. A positive 4 and a positive 5 would add to give me a positive 9, and they would multiply to give me a positive 20. So those are my two factors, x plus 4, x plus 5. All right, so let's look at this method looking at a couple of other trinomials that follow this pattern, where there's no coefficient here, and there's a coefficient here and here. Hold on just a second.